From success in practice and on the verge of a relaxing retirement to speaking around the world as Vice President of Sherman Chiropractic College, Dr. Neil Cohen is known for his love and passion for people and their health. Is your health thriving or is it merely surviving? Welcome to Thriving with Chiropractic, where we unpack conditions and lifestyle challenges in order for you to be the best version of health you can possibly be. I'm your host, Dr. Mosier, and my beautiful co-host is my wife, Ellen. Join us on this journey to thrive. Hey folks, Dr. Mosier here, and I have my good friend, Dr. Neil Cohen. Dr. Neil, it is so good to have you on the show with me today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such an honor. I appreciate the invite. I'm excited.
Awesome. So we met first. Well, actually, we didn't really meet, but I saw you speak at a conference, and it blew my mind, at how passionate you were. This is a chiropractic conference, and you were speaking to hundreds of other chiropractors. And then a year later, we met in a small group at another chiropractic event. It was a speaking event. We were learning how to better speak because we have a story. We have a story that really people need to know, right? And you, a very successful doc yourself, and you were speaking to a young doc like myself, and you were pouring so much love and life into me. And I thought, man, this is the guy I got to get on this show. And so thank you for joining me, Dr. Neil. We all have a story, and it's a story that's worth sharing. I want to know your story, though. What got you into chiropractic?
Well, thank you for asking that. My story is not unlike others, although the details may be unique and different. Chiropractic, I believe, it's not a career; it's a calling. I believe that the Lord has gifts, and He has a plan for our lives to use those gifts. And if we pay attention and we listen and we stay in fellowship with the Spirit, then the Lord will direct our steps. And He always directs our steps, but oftentimes we kick against the goads. And in my case, back in these days, this was the late 70s, I was going to college, and I knew that I wanted to do something that was impactful in my life, but I just could not decide what that was. I was thinking along the lines of, do I want to be a police officer? What do I want to do? A doctor? And I really didn't like wanting to be a doctor because it required way too much commitment. At the time I was young and I didn't want to commit. And along came this beautiful woman who later became my wife, and she was going to a chiropractor while we were dating. And I asked her, why she would go so often, why she would go 2 and 3 times a week to the chiropractor. Is it really doing anything? And she said beautifully, she said, why don't you come and why don't you speak with him? So I went into the office, and I was young and I was strong and I was full of myself at the time. Of course, I didn't have the spirit that I have now. And I started questioning him and asking him things. And he was the most charming and disarming person I had met in healthcare. And he said to me, I really like your girlfriend. I really like Randy. Why don't I take care of you too? So I'm going to take some x-rays and I'm going to look and see if your spine needs to be adjusted. And the word that he said really encouraged me. He said, I'm going to do it for free. And when he said that, I was young. I didn't have a lot of money. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. So he took an x-ray. He showed me my view of my neck. And he said, your neck is off. It should be curved and it's straight. And here's the funny part. I didn't tell him that I had neck problems my whole life. And so he gave me this scientific, specific, and gentle adjustment to my neck. And my whole life changed immediately. Well, what changed? What changed was the fact that I was carrying around a burden. I was carrying around baggage in my body that I did not know that I had. And until my body became clear and released of the interference, I could not know what normal really was. And immediately I had relief. I had normality in my life. I could think clearer. And I was of the age, I was about 20 years old. And I said, where have they been keeping this stuff? This is amazing. I'd never been to a chiropractor. I'd never been adjusted. I said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. And so I give my wife, Randy, all the credit in the world for birthing chiropractic into our family. We have 3 children, and 2 of our 3 children are successful chiropractors. We have been given so much by being obedient to the chiropractic philosophy. And that philosophy is very simple. It's that the body knows how to heal itself. And we have to trust that God gave us everything we need to be healthy. And because he gave us everything we need to be healthy, there are things that keep us from being healthy. And those things are called interference. Sometimes that interference is emotional, sometimes it's physical, and sometimes it's chemical. Chiropractors are the only ones on the planet that are able to remove that interference from your nerve system. And when your nerve system is clear, you're better. And the reason that we go to a chiropractor is because it's good for us. It makes us better, regardless of whether we have symptoms or we don't have symptoms. Chiropractic is not about the symptoms necessarily. Certainly that brings you into a chiropractic office. But what we find after we go to a chiropractor for some time, and it's always different for everyone, our immune system works better. We're healthier. We get less colds. We navigate through life. Our marriages become better. We have better relationships with our children. So chiropractic literally transcends the reason that we go in there for. So it changed my life, and it gave me the ability to be in practice for close to 40 years and understand how I can change a community. And now I'm a senior vice president of what I consider the preeminent chiropractic college in the United States and perhaps the world. It gives my reach a wider reach. And now it's not just a community, it's a world. And that's how we got to meet Dr. Mosier, is because we are bringing chiropractic to the world, and the world right now more than ever needs chiropractic care.
Yes, they do. It is. I love your passion. I love it. And as you're speaking, I'm just flooded with so many memories of patients and patient testimonials and patient stories, because, we're making a difference. We're making a difference in people's lives. We can't, save the whole world. We're saving that person's world one at a time. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm now going to join you in the 3-child club. Ellen is pregnant. So
Congratulations.
So we're in the same boat. You're just a few years ahead of me. But Dr. Neal, you have been in practice for 40 plus years, and you have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of patients. I have to know, what is your most memorable patient story?
Well, there are so many of them, but one that always comes to mind is a story about a child named Leo. Leo used to come to the office with his grandparents. I took care of his grandparents for quite some time, and they themselves had incredible miracles as well. So they're stories in themselves. But Leo used to come because they babysat for their grandson. And I noticed Leo was about 4 years old, and I noticed he did not speak very much. So after several visits, I asked Abuelo, I asked Grandpa, I said, what's going on with him? How come he doesn't speak? He says, oh, Dr. Cohen, he's on the autistic spectrum, and this is the reason he doesn't speak. And I was like, oh, okay. Would it be possible for maybe his parents to come in, and maybe we can get permission to check him to see if maybe he has interference to his nerve system? I think that might be a good start. And he said, yes, we will ask them. So he asked the parents, and interestingly enough, and I got to throw this part in there, the mom worked for a chiropractor, and her child had never been adjusted. Now, I say that because not all chiropractors are created equal. Chiropractors must be able to share the profoundness of and the importance of what chiropractic care is about. And unless you can do that, you are missing a great deal of the population. That means you're only taking care of neck pain and back pain. And this story really illustrates how profound chiropractic is. So this child came in for his next visit. It was a Monday, or the grandparents came in for their visit on a Monday. I was able to check him. I found interference in the upper spine where the brain stem meets the neck. I removed that interference, and the child came in on Wednesday with his grandparents, and he was talking like you could not believe. And I was blown away. This was a child that had been labeled autistic or on the spectrum. Now, here is this is what drives me. You say I'm passionate. This is what I'm passionate about. What would have happened? Where would Leo be today if he'd never been checked and adjusted by a chiropractor? That's the question. We don't know. We don't know. I saw Leo a couple of years ago. Of course, he's all grown now. He's about 12, 13 years old, and he's just functioning beautifully. And I say to myself, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus, for the opportunity to take care of your people, for the opportunity to remove interference so that your glory can be demonstrated. Because I'm going to tell you something. God doesn't need chiropractic to get people well. He gives us chiropractors and he gives us chiropractic so we can demonstrate who he is, because the body knows how to heal, and oftentimes the body cannot heal. And then God puts people in your path to see what you would do. It says in Deuteronomy, he says, I had you in the desert for 40 years to test you and to humble you, to see what you would do. And do we have the guts? Do we have the audacity to share with people the profoundness of chiropractic? Because people are stuck in a medical model. They think if they're symptom-free, that they're healthy. And there could be nothing further from the truth, because people are symptom-free and have cancer growing in their body. People are symptom-free and have high blood pressure. People are symptom-free and have diabetes. What we have to understand is health is not about feeling, it's about healing. And we can heal better when we have no interference between our brain and our body. And that's the chiropractic story. And I'm so grateful to be a servant of this great philosophy that we need to share with the world. And now I get the opportunity to share it with chiropractors, to share it with your patients, to share it with my students, so they could go out there and protect, promote, and perpetuate the future of this great profession.
I love it. And that really leads me into my next question is, you were very successful in, I believe, South Florida, if I'm thinking correctly, and you were on the verge of retirement. You know, it's been great. I'm gonna retire, and now you're working probably even harder than you ever have. Why?
Well, let me just may I just make a little correction there. Number one, I never worked a day in my life as a chiropractor. Chiropractic I just don't see it as work. I get up every day and I love it. It's an opportunity to share this great message. That's number one. And when you say I left practice to go to Sherman about 9 or 10 years ago, I was not on the verge of retirement. I was just going to the next opportunity. While I was in practice and before the Sherman opportunity came up, I always said I would practice till I'm like in my 80s at least, because I love this stuff. I mean, as long as my body holds out and I can do it and my mind holds out, I just want to keep practicing. And very interesting, I got this opportunity to serve at a higher level, and I took the position at Sherman College, not for the academic experience, but more for to build relationships with the profession. We had it was a critical moment 10 years ago, and we're in critical moments now. Chiropractic has always seemed to be fighting for its principled life, so to speak, ever since its discovery in 1895. And 10 years ago, when I was in practice, I started to see the forest through the trees. I saw the walls sort of closing in on chiropractic, and there was a great deal of people within the profession that were trying to move it into the allopathic model, meaning mechanistic, meaning back pain, neck pain, headaches. I have had great success in not only back pain, neck pain, and headaches, but great success in so many other things, as you heard with Leo and many, many other stories. And so I felt like that was an assault on our philosophy, an assault on our profession. And Sherman College was one of the last chiropractic colleges that hadn't sold itself out to this mechanistic mindset. They were still vitalistic. They still believed in the four basic principles, that the body heals itself and that the nervous system is responsible for every aspect of the human experience. Interference to the nervous system affects life and it affects health, and chiropractors are the ones that remove that interference. Those are the four basic principles, and Sherman believed in locating and analyzing and correcting that interference. Other schools were moving into a different model, and it bothered me, and I felt like I could make a difference. I have the passion, I have the desire, I have the belief. It's in my core to understand these things and to articulate them to the world. So I got this opportunity. I went to Sherman College. I have learned so much about administration, about academics, about institutions, about relationships. And it's been a great journey the last 9 years. And I'm continuing with the college, doing things like this to share this message. And really, if there's any of your patients out there that have not found their passion and their purpose in life, it's never too late to be a chiropractor. We have people starting the college at 50 and 60 years old, second and third career people, because they get the fire in them and they want to make a difference. You said we save lives. You know, firemen, when they save lives, it's kind of obvious. I saw somebody last night. It was a delivery driver. He pulled some 6-year-old out of a burning building. Wow, that's amazing. That's truly being a servant and being a person who really knows how to save a life, or maybe doesn't know and just does it with blind faith. Chiropractors save lives, but it's different. We save lives because we add years to life and life to years. There's so many things that happen. What I used to tell my patients is, you're coming in here with this particular symptom, but the reason why you keep coming is for the things that we are preventing from happening. You never know what you're not going to get because you go to a chiropractor regularly. And chiropractic is that important. So Sherman has given me that opportunity. Sherman College of Chiropractic has given me that opportunity to really share this message, not only nationally, but as you mentioned early on in your intro, internationally. I've been to 4 or 5 of the 7 continents, and I'm just so grateful to share this message around the world.
That is so awesome. So awesome. And there's a reason why my first intern, Emma, is now a student at Sherman.
Yes. I love her. Yeah, she's awesome. We got to meet at a Showcase Sherman weekend. That's where we open up. We have an open house for a Friday and a Saturday. We feed you. We put you up in a hotel. We share our culture with you. We bring you through the Sherman faculty and staff. It really is a great opportunity to make that decision as to see whether Sherman is the right place for you. We're located in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and many of your patients may have not heard of Spartanburg. It's a few minutes north of Greenville, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's just a tremendous, wonderful place to live. And we're so grateful to have Emma at Sherman College.
Awesome. Well, folks, if you are pursuing a career, if you're young or old or wherever you are in life and you want to become a chiropractor, I would highly recommend, I will get you in touch with Dr. Neil Cohen. But Dr. Neil, I got to ask you, for the rest of the folks, the rest of the patients and the folks watching this, what advice, what suggestions would you give them?
Well, for your patients, I would give them this advice that, we've been programmed to believe that healing comes from the outside in. It comes from a pill, a potion, a lotion. And sometimes those things are necessary. Don't get me wrong. But I want people to understand that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, that they have this incredible ability to recreate themselves. Of course, we know who's doing that. We know that's our maker. But we have cells that are being made every single moment. And those cells are either being made healthy or they're being made sick. When you're under chiropractic care, and I'm talking about regular care, when you're getting checked and adjusted on a regular basis, your body just works better and it's good for you. So the way you've incorporated brushing your teeth every day, several times a day, because it's good for you, because it keeps your teeth healthy, I would say this: incorporate chiropractic care into your life on a regular basis. Don't wait until you hurt. Don't wait until you're desperate. That's the worst time to come to the chiropractor. It certainly will help you, but it's so much better to be proactive than to be reactive. And medicine has taught us, allopathic medicine, the medical model, has taught us to be reactive. Chiropractic comes from a different paradigm, and it says be proactive. So that's my advice. If any of you are on the fence, if any of you have time constraints, money constraints, let me just tell you this, that time is important, but when you lose your health, time doesn't mean as much. And when you lose your health, money doesn't mean as much. Those are two commodities that you have to be proactive to hold on to. And there's always enough time in the day to get to see Dr. Mosier, get your spine checked and adjusted if necessary. So that's my advice.
Dr. Cohen, this was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining us. And it was a pleasure. And maybe we'll have to have lunch. I'll come out to Sherman College and we'll do a video tour of the college together.
I would love that. That would be amazing. Thank you so much for this opportunity. What a great podcast. Your patients are so blessed and fortunate to have you as their chiropractor, Dr. Mosier. God bless you, and God bless Ellen, and blessings on the new baby and the children.
Thank you. And folks, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on Thriving with Chiropractic. Thank you for joining. We truly hope Thriving with Chiropractic is making a positive impact on your health and wellness. Please comment and share this episode. We would love to hear from you. And as always, remember, your story matters.